What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hoodco Roofing, hoodcoroofing.com. Remember, Brock Rock and Wine coming up on Saturday. Look for something to do this weekend in South Stadium Club at Tiger Stadium. Food from great restaurants and food vendors all over the state. Tons of wine, live music. Coming up on Saturday, Brock Rock and Wine. Get your tickets, brortho.com. And of course, Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. All right, y'all. How about it, man? Today, the New Orleans Saints report for training camp. It is upon us. Yesterday was kind of like the photo day and all that sort of stuff. So you probably saw a lot of the stuff on social media. But the entire team will descend upon the Saints training facility there on Airline Drive in Metairie. And Wednesday they'll be on the practice field. The bit of, I guess, significant news from yesterday is that Michael Thomas is 100% expected to be a full participant in camp. So that's fantastic news. Nick Underhill with that report. I can't say necessarily that I think that's terribly surprising. We saw Michael Thomas on the practice field during a lot of OTAs and in minicamp. So even though limited in what he was doing, it makes sense that he was limited in what he was doing. He was, there was no reason to rush him out there. But that's fantastic news. So but the real story is if he can stay healthy. Obviously, I mean, we saw Michael Thomas get healthy and start last year. It was really good week one against Atlanta, and then got hurt, and played 3 games. So, I mean, but gotta get out there. So he is. So that's good. Also, the Saints did work out 2 players yesterday. Kyle Phillips, defensive end formerly of the Jets, worked out with the Saints. And familiar face Trey Turner worked out, so we'll see if the Saints make a move to sign either of those guys to add them to come in and compete in camp. And they'll at the practice field on Wednesday. So, all right. Thanks for being here with us. YouTube, please smash that like button if you're new. Subscribe up to the channel. Facebook, please like the page, share the post. You know the drill. And let's get your questions, whatever y'all got, fire away. Stuart Angers, good morning. Larry Garner, good morning. Matt Plavidal, good morning. Long day. Package is insane. 60 hours. Hey, man, you're getting paid. Bro. Get that money, man. Makes it worth it when you get the paycheck. Wendell Norman, good morning. Kirk Taylor, what's going on? Ryan Thibodeau, hey, Dad, good morning. Kirk Taylor said, Craig, we're going to see Scone in Lafayette. Craig said, possibly, even if it's just to heckle him. So, yeah, I'm excited about this. If y'all haven't heard or if you didn't see the post yesterday, so Thursday is the ESPN 1037, ESPN 1041 launch party. So Delta Media in Lafayette, our great affiliate, is having a launch party for their for the station for ESPN 1037 Lafayette, 1041 Lake Charles. And it's Thursday in Lafayette. The venue is pretty awesome. So they own the venue. A lot of people are like, well, what's the venue? They own it. So it's like a named venue. It's not a public place. It's their venue. But it is pretty fine, man. It's in downtown Lafayette. There is a stage in there, so we'll be set up on the stage to do AFR. And then there's a lot of common area with seating and couches and different things. There's a long L-shaped bar as well. There is going to be free food and drinks for everybody who comes. I think everyone admitted gets two drink tickets, and then there's food as well. So I think it's 5 to 8. Uh, but I want to say they might open it up at 4 for people who are interested in coming to see the show. Let me get clarification on that. But if you're in Lafayette or know someone who is and might be interested, come on by. Would love to have a great crowd. So again, Thursday, AFR live in Lafayette at the ESPN 1037 Lafayette launch party. I'm pretty excited about it. So the whole staff will be there. The whole ESPN 1037 staff will be there. You can meet all of them, and I'll be there as well. So looking forward to it. All right, Kirk. Let's see, fall camp for high school football opening 2. Yeah, football's back, man. Jared DeLucky, what's going on, man? Good morning. Whiskey and wine tomorrow night. Yes, sir. Not whiskey and wine. No, whiskey and wine. Scone and tea. Scone and tea tomorrow night. Scone and tea at Olive Twist. Whiskey and wine's the post-game show. I know you know that, but just point of clarification. Craig Duke got gummies from Muso and whiskey for Scone, a peace offering, if you will. Muso, however, will not be there, unfortunately. He will have to be in studio. Paul and Muso will have to be in studio. So I'll be making the trek with our on-site engineer, Bo Wegman. So we'll look forward to that. Brand Roban, morning, Scone. How does LSU shut down Florida State's tall receivers? How do you cover a guy who's 6'6"? So, yeah, look. It's not the first ever 6'6" wide receiver in the world, right? LSU for a long time. I remember it was interesting when A&M came into the league, and they had Mike Evans, and that was kind of their thing. Ricky Seals-Jones, if you remember. A&M had these big old receivers, and so for a while there, Les started recruiting just big wide receivers. That's when you saw Jazz Ferguson and Stephon Sullivan and all those guys come through. Like the smallest receiver LSU had was like 6'2". And then they didn't. So, I think it's a good thought, but when you're that big, are you fast? Can you cut? Do you have good hands? Yes, you're a big target with probably a big catch radius, but I think that might be a little overstated because you still have to be a good receiver. I don't just mean someone who can catch the ball. I mean someone who can run routes and crisp routes and plant and change directions, because that's a big key of it. Anyway, and Johnny Wilson's a good player. He had 43 catches for 897 last year and 5 touchdowns. I mean, he wasn't even a 1,000-yard receiver last year. Let's see. His best game, that's Johnny Wilson, the Arizona State transfer. His best game, let's see, against Oklahoma in the bowl game, he had 8 catches for 202. But other than that, he only had 2 100-yard games. He had 7 for 149 against Louisville and 3 for 111 against Georgia Tech. He had a 78-yard catch and run. So, good player, not something that I think you look at and think that's impossible to defend. Cliff Nelson, good morning. Weston Weaver, morning. Saw you're going to be in 337 Thursday. Wish I could make it. Celebrate 10-year anniversary. All good, Weston. There will be other opportunities, I assure you. Damon Gilmore, good morning. He don't know how to make a roux line got me yesterday. So we're talking about Brian Kelly. So LSU got the commitment from the linebacker out of Manny, and so I was bringing up a lot of the people who a year ago said Brian Kelly can't recruit Louisiana. It's not a good fit. So, man, just because you can't spell Chifuncta doesn't mean you can't coach at LSU. It's because you don't know how to make a roux. Although maybe he can now. Cliff Nelson, what's the address? All right, Cliff. Cliff, I tweeted it. Hey, Cliff, check my Twitter and my Facebook, by the way. It's pinned on my Twitter profile. The address is 520 Rue Jefferson, Lafayette, Louisiana. It's downtown. So 520 Rue Jefferson, but the graphic is pinned on my Twitter or on my X. I've pinned it on my X. Whatever. I don't get it. Why we rebranded Twitter. Damon Gilmore. Wilson takes care of himself with those stone hands. Hunter Broadhead. Good morning, Brad David. Why do you think Napier is struggling so bad? Do you think he will get time to turn it around? So do I think he'll get time? Yes. I think minimum 4 years. That should conceivably be enough time. I think the reason that they really struggled a year ago, you had inconsistent play quarterback with Richardson, and their roster just isn't very good. Dan Mullen is a good coach, but really didn't recruit. And so I think, you bring in a new coach and you have guys leave via the portal, and maybe you don't supplement quickly enough. It's one of the things that I think, Brian Kelly sort of reset the bar in many respects because, not just Brian Kelly. Remember Mel Tucker did the same thing his first year at Michigan State. He went and brought in like 40 guys from the portal. It's funny how, that just reminded me, it's funny how Dion is getting criticism from some because of the way he handled the portal this year. And I'm like, Brian Kelly did the same thing. Mel Tucker did the same thing. They came in, wanted to win immediately. They had to go after the portal, and they did. And so I think, for Napier, he's got to build that roster back up. They just don't have enough good players. I don't know if y'all saw it yesterday, but man, they had a big offensive lineman who transferred from Kentucky. Keonta Goodwin was his name. Keonta Goodwin was a 5-star out of the Louisville area, and went to Kentucky, picked Kentucky over a lot of big-time schools. Went to Kentucky, was there for 1 year, transferred to Florida this spring, and now before playing a game in Florida, he's leaving. Apparently his mom has cancer, and he's going to try to get a hardship waiver to move closer to home. But that's kind of my point. Florida, just, they're lacking bodies. Trivia Carter, good morning. Thomas Lamont, good morning. Finally starting to come down off the baseball high, getting excited for football. Hey, man, the other thing, too, is, baseball news isn't over completely because there's still at least two big fish out there via the portal that we got to keep an eye on. So Luke Holman is one, of course, and I think they feel confident. He visited Tennessee, Mississippi State, and LSU. LSU got the last visit of the three, and he'll make a decision here soon. And then Braden Montgomery's the other, the transfer from Stanford, two-way guy. Power hitting, switch hitter, right fielder, closer, throws 98. That's the biggest fish in the portal. And he was waiting until his time was done with Team USA before he could start focusing on where he was going to transfer. So I'd expect the decision there pretty soon. But yeah, time to lock in on football. Thomas said the birth of my first child last week is helping to bridge the gap as well. Well, congratulations, Thomas. That's awesome, man. What a great, joyful thing for you and your family. And that will definitely help bridge the gap. Tim Gotro, good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, YouTube, please smash that like button if you would. Facebook, please like the Matt Moscona page. Share the post. Kirk says we got to protect Matt from the ULL fans. I think it's going to be fine. I mean, most people who are angry on the internet won't ever say anything to your face. And the only, whoops, sorry. And the other thing that I'll say all the time is I have nothing against ULL. Like, I don't hate ULL. I cheer for all the state schools. I do. I want state schools to do well. The one that's the hardest for me to cheer for, though, is Tulane. Because just as a kid in New Orleans and an LSU fan, was just around the bowling down the whole wave roll. It was just, hated Tulane. But I guess that's really just been muted over the last 30 years, like who really cares. But yeah, no, I want the teams to do well. So I just don't understand why they have to pretend to be something they're not. They're the only school that does it. So you are what you are. Just be great at what you are. Be a great G5 school. Go be the best G5 school you can be. Nicole Haverd, good morning. Summer's winding down. Gonna miss my live morning scones. Well, it's all right, Nicole. We'll be here on weekends, so you can still hang out with us on weekends and catch us when you can. We appreciate you as always. Kirk Taylor, can we get lemon cookies? I'm gonna bet no on that one, Kirk. And it's nothing. It's mostly, I think, because E-Rock's tasty T-Bob Tiger treats. It's not that E-Rock wouldn't make them, but it's also like Thursday. She have to make them early and have to bring them to Lafayette. Then that's also a little. I feel like that would be a little rude if I'm invited to someone else's party and I roll up in there with like cookies that my wife made. You know what I mean? So probably not do that. But soon enough, Kirk. Soon enough. Let's see, Jerry. All good, Jerry. I've made the same mistake. Kelly Presley, good morning from Navarre Beach. Okay, good morning. Good morning, good morning. I'm jealous of that. Devin Johnson, good morning. Kelly Groves, Jason Horn, good morning. Need to bust out a fresh pair of kicks Thursday, 2000th show. That's true. So Thursday is the 2000th morning scone, and that's also the day that we'll be doing AFR live in Lafayette for the launch party. I'm not even wearing shoes right now, Jason. I'm going to the gym, going to traction. This morning, going to train. So as soon as I get done here, I'll head over there to train. But let's see, I don't know what I'm gonna wear today. I never really have it pre-planned. I just grab a shirt, then I pick shoes that match my shirts. So let's see. As always, shout out to Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Need an orthopedist, go to Brock. Need a roof, call Hudco. Brock Rock and Wine is Saturday. We'd love to give you a free no obligation roofing inspection. Hudco's pinned in the chat. Devin Johnson, yesterday on Morning Scone, I meant to say North End Zone, replay boards, upgrades. Sorry for the confusion. All good, Devin. Actually, I think I saw that. Maybe you had to leave, but I think I did see that later in the episode. We talked about it because Devin was asking about could LSU upgrade the video boards. And my point, and I think he was initially talking about the South End Zone, but it meant to say North. The South End Zone just has the two smaller screens in the corners. Well, you're kind of stuck there because you got the South End Zone, obviously. And the North End Zone, remember when they first put the video boards back in 2000, it was a big point of contention because the screen was so small and, 70% of the video board was taken up with ads. But they do have a much bigger board now. I just think the sound is what it is. The acoustics in Tiger Stadium just are never going to be good because of the way it's configured. So, unless if there's some dramatic new technology that could fix that, but is it really worth investing the money for that? I don't know. Let's see, Kurt. Only criticism I have with the WESPN lineup in Lafayette is they have national radio in the morning. Why can't off the bench be on 103.7? So Kirk, there's actually, when you're an ESPN affiliate, you're actually contractually obligated to carry a certain number of prime hours of programming per day. And we in Baton Rouge have requested and been permitted to carry fewer hours. We still have to clear their inventory, their commercial inventory. But a big part of that is just being a long-standing affiliate and a good affiliate, and Gordy's on their affiliate relations board and all that sort of stuff. And as the national lineup has lost a lot of its really elite talent, like Mike and Mike, Cowherd, SVP, the ESPN national lineup just isn't very good anymore. And so that we've had opportunities to put local programming on and sell it, and so ESPN's been receptive to that. I don't know what the plan is for the Southwest Louisiana, for Lafayette and Lake Charles affiliates. I know they're carrying the national programming now, but they have local programming in the midday, and then obviously AFR in the afternoon. So I guess it's a long way of saying, Kirk, like, you don't have complete and total autonomy over your lineup. Like, there are, to be an affiliate, an ESPN affiliate, there are like contractual requirements that you have to meet. Brent Roban, which SEC coach gets the boot first the next few seasons? I'll say Drinkwitz and Jimbo. See, Kirk, serious but not serious question. Anyway, we swapped Vandy for Tulane. Tulane had their chance, bro. Tulane was in the SEC. They were an inaugural member of the SEC, and they left. Tulane and Georgia Tech, idiots. Like, what a terrible decision they made 60 years ago. Like, you were in the SEC and you left. So, and how dramatically different are those two conferences, or those two schools, and their athletic plight had they not left the SEC? How different does the structure of the league look? Maybe you never add Arkansas and South Carolina, or maybe it comes years later. Yeah, I don't know. But Tulane had their shot. They left. David Tolson, does NIL really need federal government's oversight or intervention? Yeah, David, no, I don't think so. Now, I'll grant you that I've said it a bajillion times. I am an extremist when it comes to NIL and transfer portal stuff. But no, I don't think the federal government needs to intervene. Say it again. The only people inconvenienced by NIL and the transfer portal are millionaire coaches, and I'm really not worried about them. Sorry, it's harder to maintain a roster. Had a good conversation yesterday with Sonny Cumbie, head coach at Louisiana Tech, on Rosters to Riches. And it's an NIL podcast that we do. For those that don't know, you can go search Rosters to Riches on your favorite podcast app. And I asked him, kind of point blank, and I know Coach Cumbie, like, we're cordial and friendly. And I was like, the richest teams, name them: Ohio State, Georgia, Michigan, Bama, LSU, USC, Texas, Penn State, A&M, like all the richest teams are all the ones spending in NIL too, right? They're the ones still picked to win the championship, right? So what's changed? You basically just redistributed where the funds are going. Instead of putting a first-class airplane pod in your locker room or a barber shop in your football ops building, you're just giving NIL deals to players. Okay, how's that different than before? Just where the money's going. It hasn't created a greater separation. Anyway, what was the question? Oh, federal legislation. So, why does the federal government need to be involved? Like, that's the thing where I would start. Why does the federal government need to be involved? And someone's going to say, well, if it's ruining college sports, how is it ruining college sports? Like, is it ruining your idea of college sports, or is it ruining college sports? Because last I checked, the women's basketball national championship just set bonkers records. College World Series just set bonkers viewership records. College football is about to expand to a 12-team playoff, and you're seeing record TV deals to the tune of hundreds of millions, if not per year, and billions of dollars for the life of contracts. Like, how exactly is college football being ruined? How exactly is college sports being ruined? It's just what your idea of what, well, it's pay for play, so. Well, they're amateurs. No, they're not. What's the problem? What's the problem? The Pollyanna idea of what college sports is supposed to be is what's ruined for many of you, while you conveniently ignore the fact that Will Wade was on a federal wiretap talking about a damn strong offer. And I'm just pointing him out as one. Tennessee just got hit by the NCAA because Jeremy Pruitt and his wife were funneling money to players. I mean, LSU had Vidal Alexander's dad getting paid for a no-show job. I mean, we had the Pony Express driving gold Trans Ams back in the 80s. And SMU had a ledger of payments to players. What are we talking about here? Like, what are we talking about? Are we really trying to say that college athletes haven't been getting paid? Now you just legitimized it. So, whatever. All right. Let's see, a couple more here. Tim Gotro, Jeffrey Giordano, good morning. Cliff. Adam Fontenot, Matt, were you being facetious when talking about Les Amos Bakery? It's pronounced Les Amis. No, it's Les Amos. Can't you see it? Like Les Miles. Les. L-E-S, spelled the same way. Amos, A-M-I-S, Les Amos. I don't see what the problem is. It's called Les Amos. I mean, you're talking to a guy that gets PO'd when people mispronounce anything or misspell things or misuse the word ironic. Do you think I don't know that it's Les Amis? Yes, I know it's not Les Amos. Oh, man. That's why radio bits are so good, because there's always people that just are like, "Wait, is he serious? I think he's joking, but is he?" No. But the macaroons from Les Amos are still awesome. They are phenomenal. Reed Rule, good morning. If House has another good year, is he a head coach candidate? Yes. Thomas Lamont, can't remember the last time I intentionally tuned into a national broadcast, just not good anymore. Brad David, when is Drew's first day at St. Lillian? In 3 Mondays? 3 weeks from yesterday? Ray Langlois, good morning. Have a terrific Tuesday. Thanks, Ray. Same to you. Trivia, it's simple. The Fed got to get their cut, but they're getting it anyway, trivia, because all of that.
Hey, you may want to check with him because he keeps it up and saying, do. I mean, he's away.
Okay.
He doesn't want to get up.
Okay.
So he just did that like 3 times.
Okay. Yes. Les Amos Bakery, like Brian Dennehy Stadium. Exactly, Cliff. Exactly right. And what Trivia said is simple. The Fed's got to get their cut, but Trivia, the Fed gets their cut anyway. Like, all NIL deals are taxable, so that's not like all those deals have to go through an athletic department's compliance office. The student athletes are 1099 on that stuff, so they have to pay taxes on, like, that's getting done anyway, you know? So, I mean, I'm with you. I agree completely. Of course, the federal government's going to want their cut, but like, if it was that big of a deal, they would be more forceful in pushing through legislation instead of having to be lobbied by football coaches going to DC to ask them to do it. All right, 8:00. Leon Williams, good morning. Jim Arsenault, Bill Schmid. I think we might be just about done, y'all. Anything else? I think we're just about done. Just about done. Okay, I think we're done. Smash that like button if you would. Oh, excuse me.
Smash that like button.
Listen to E-Rock. Smash that like button if you're on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. Facebook, please like the Matt Moscona page and share the post. And we'll get out of here. So AFR 3 LSU Daily is live. So if you haven't subscribed up yet, please, on your favorite podcast app, just search LSU Daily. Subscribe up and tell a friend. And then we'll see you today for AFR 3. Well, no, I'm going to do that. Peace. 3:00. Peace. Peace.